And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. My name is Coach James. I'm the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, aerodynamics, drag, lift, downforce, kinetic energy, potential energy, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, gravity, friction, and a number of other topics. Once we have learned all the topics, once we have conducted experiments to drive home all of those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars. And each student selects a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a race based on everything that they have learned in the class. They select their Hot Wheels car, they examine their Hot Wheels car, they take a picture of their car, they shoot a little video, they weigh the car, they test the speed of the car, they check the year the car was manufactured, they check the materials the car is made from. After they have made all of those observations, then and only then do we set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and the students race the cars and find out if their car is the fastest. They also observe how their car performed. Did their car perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the chance, would they select that car again, or would they make a different selection based on what they observed? So, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, we learn about science, what could be better? But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So what is At the Track Live? Before I can introduce all of those cars to the students, before I can bring them into the classroom for students to use, I have to make sure I know which cars I am bringing in. I have to have them properly cataloged and numbered so that I can make sure that I get those cars back from the students, put them in the right place, and make it easy for me to distribute them to the next group of students. But what that means is I have to take the picture of the car, I have to shoot the little video, I have to number the cars, I have to enter them into the spreadsheet so that I can keep track of them. That's something I was doing, and that was boring. So I decided to create At the Track Live so that each week I go into storage, pull out a group of cars, crack those open, take a look at them, do a little review. I'll get my picture, I'll get my video, enter them into the spreadsheet, and they'll be ready to go for the students. But since we already have the cars out, since we already have the cars in front of us, since the track is already set up, we have a little mini tournament. So every week we have a mini tournament and find out which car is the fastest. And that car that wins that week's tournament has the opportunity to take on our fastest in fleet car. And we're going to talk about that fastest in fleet car in just a moment. But the whole reason this is live is because you have the chance to also participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and there are 3 options. One's the YouTube stream link, one's the Twitch stream link, which you don't need because you're already watching. But the third link, the third most important link, is the one that says choose your car. You select that link and it takes you to this page. And on this page, you can see all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At the Track Live fleet. And we are up to 828 cars. There are 828 cars listed on this page for you to choose from. All you have to do is find the car you think would be faster than the cars that I've introduced and take the number of that car. So let's say you think it is this Piranha Terror car. You can click on that. You can take a look at it. You can say, I think that's the car. I think that's going to be the fastest car in the group. And if that is what you think after you've taken that closer look at it, all you have to do is take that number, in this case 136, you drop that in the chat. I will pull that car, and then we will take it to the track and see if you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe you have found the fastest car in the fleet, and of these 828 cars, maybe you found the one. Maybe you think it's this hot dog car, the street wiener. Students have picked this one in the past, and surprisingly, it's actually, well, at least in the case of one of the schools, this car won. It won the tournament. Now, is that because this car is particularly fast, or is that because the other cars that the other students chose were slow? I don't know. But if you think the street wiener, the hot dog car, is the one, you take the number 161, drop it in the chat, and then I will pull that car. There are fantasy cars. There are cars based on real cars. There are classic Hot Wheels cars. This is the Bone Shaker. Now they make so many variations and versions of the Bone Shaker, but this is one of the sort of OG Hot Wheels cars that has been around for a long time, and we're going to get into today another car that's been around for a while that I was surprised that I didn't already have in the fleet. So we will talk about that. But if the Bone Shaker is the car, if you want to go kind of old school, and the Bone Shaker is the car you want, all you have to do is take this number, 223, drop it in the chat. I will pull the car. Two down from the Bone Shaker, we have the Slide Kick. The Slide Kick is notable because it was the one of the cars that took a race from our current fastest in fleet car, and that is something that has been extremely rare. So the Slide Kick has that to its credit. Roughshod, how you doing? Roughshod picked the Slide Kick a few weeks back, brought it back to see if it could take out our fastest in fleet car. It did not, but the Slide Kick is definitely a fast car. It's just not faster than our fastest car. Just below the Slide Kick here, we have this Back to the Future time machine car, the DeLorean. And this one is a Hot Wheels ID car. And I've pulled some of these recently, and they don't make these anymore. I guess the line didn't sell like Mattel was hoping. But I really like these cars because they were premium cars. But because they had to work with the Hot Wheels ID track, they had plastic wheels. So that is great for us, because usually the premium cars have the real rider tires, which are rubber and create too much friction on our track to be competitive. So I can't race any of those cars, which is good for my wallet because I don't have to spend extra money on for premium cars. But the Hot Wheels ID cars did prove that Mattel could make these premium cars with the plastic wheels, so we could have premium cars on the track. So there are a few Hot Wheels ID cars in the group, and we're going to be introducing one today because I was in storage and found a few of those that I bought and just put away for some reason, maybe because they're in boxes and didn't fit with everything else. But there are, if lowriders are your thing, there are lowriders throughout. We've got this 66 Nova. We have, if maybe you want something more modern, we've got a Range Rover Velar. Fantasy cars, every type of car that you could think of is represented here. Another lowrider, we've got this Riviera here. And that is definitely, that's one of my favorite cars, this one. And then I have the alternate version, which is not in the fleet, but it's just like that, 64 Riviera, except it's black and white. If you can't decide, we have trucks. If you want to pick this Oldsmobile 442 with the donk wheels, just this is absolutely insane and unique. And if you wanted to pick that car, okay, sure, go ahead. That is the Olds 442, and you would take the number 234 and drop it in the chat, and I would pull it. And then, let's say you can't decide between the car and a truck. We've got El Caminos. We've got we've got a 72 Ford Ranchero. So we've got a little bit of truck, a little bit of car. Maybe that's what you want to go with. I don't know. But any type of car that you're interested in is here. All you have to do is take the number, drop it in the chat, and I will pull the car. And Roughshot already made his pick. He made his pick last week, and it is car number 216. It is this one. It is the Scoopa di Fuego. And this car is interesting. We have another program, Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, where we take these cars and put them in the Winsable 1/64th scale wind tunnel. And I was curious to see how these vents at the back of the car, how that would kind of impact. Would the air flow through those to the back and out, or would it kind of get trapped in there? It turns out these vents are sealed, and so air is going to get trapped in there. But to what extent that slows this car down on the track, we won't know. We also, when we had it in the wind tunnel, we saw that this area just in front of the windshield, the air kind of swirled around and pulled in there, and that's going to create some additional drag in that area. But how much will that impact this car's overall performance? I don't know. We're going to find out. I believe this car is, I think it's metal on metal. It may be plastic. I think the blue part is plastic. But we're going to find out how this car performs, and that is Roughshot's pick. That is car number 216, the Scoopa di Fuego. So in a little while, we'll pull it out and weigh it and take a closer look at that car. And if it can beat all of the other cars that are introduced, it will have the opportunity to take on our fastest in-fleet car. Our fastest in-fleet car has been, and still is this one. It is the, come on, let's take a look at it. All this drama. Where is it? There it is. There it is, the Gazella R. The Gazella R is our fastest in-fleet car. It is the fastest Hot Wheels car I've ever seen. And it has been blowing out its competition week after week after week. But this is the week. The Gazella has been champion for, this will be its 16th week. If the Gazella can beat all of the cars this week, it will move into its 17th week as champion. And why is that significant? That's significant because our former fastest in fleet car, the BlitzSpeeder, was champion for 17 weeks until the Gazella came along and defeated it. So, in honor of that 17 week as champion, that accomplishment, the Gazella is going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder again, or the BlitzSpeeder is going to come back and challenge the Gazella. So it's going to be Gazella versus BlitzSpeeder in a champion versus champion rematch. Excuse me. And we are going to find out if the BlitzSpeeder just had a bad race day, or if the Gazella really is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. If it comes back and it beats the BlitzSpeeder again, I don't know how long it's going to take to find a car to beat it. But that is next week. This week, we still have cars that have a shot to take out the Gazella. And if they can do it, then that throws off the plans. And we'll see what happens. But based on everything we've seen in the past, the Gazella is not likely to be going anywhere anytime soon. But that could always change. All it takes is a car to beat it twice on the track, which sounds simple, but if you've seen the Gazella moving down our track, that is far from simple. So we are going to find out, can the Gazella hang on and get to that rematch we've been talking about for the last couple of months, the BlitzSpeeder versus the Gazella in the championship rematch, the two fastest cars we've ever had on the track, the two longest reigning champions, head to head next week, if the Gazella can beat out the cars that it faces today. So we are going to find out. We have new cars to introduce, and I will also let you know that if there's a car you're thinking about, one thing you can do is on Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, which is on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram Live. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I'll take a bunch of cars, put them in the wind tunnel, and we take a look at how the air flows over, under, and around these cars. And we put the Gazella in, and we can see what the wind and the air flow is doing with the Gazella. We know the Gazella's fast, so in theory, what you would like to see is that same type of airflow around the car that you're picking. So if you're thinking about a certain car, you're in between cars, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, just let me know those cars. I'll put them in the wind tunnel, and we'll see how the air flows over, under, and around. You might see something that you don't like, that is unexpected, especially if you pick a fantasy car, because they've got so many odd shapes and angles and curves and attachments that you never really know how the air is going to be impacted. And of course, we're doing all this because we're trying to get an idea about the level of drag. And the faster an object moves through the air, the more drag impacts that object. And so if you've got a car, when the cars are moving at low speeds, doesn't really matter. But our launcher, this launcher that I designed, it was specifically designed to fire the cars out at a high rate of speed. It's like that was the intention. I was thinking when I was doing this about those, if you think about a slingshot, you've got your regular slingshots, but then you see those slingshots that have like a wrist attachment on your forearm and a huge band, and really are more weapons than they are toys. And I wasn't trying to make a weapon, but I was trying to increase the force that the cars were shot out with, because increasing that force, therefore it will increase the speed, and by increasing the speed, drag is more of a concern with these cars, or has more impact with these cars the faster that they move down the track. So with Wind Tunnel Wednesday, being able to see how the air flows over, under, and around the cars is important, because it might give you some insight as to which car you want to pick and how a car might perform. So over time, we're going to start to see, because the Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I'm still tweaking some things, but we've only put a handful of cars through there. And with the Scoopa di Fuego, that's one of the cars that we put in the wind tunnel that's also going to be racing today. There was another car we put in the wind tunnel that will be racing today as well. So after we see how those cars performed, then we can kind of look at the performance in the wind tunnel and get a better idea for what to expect, and see if there's some kind of correlation, and then we can kind of put cars in the wind tunnel and then have an idea about how they'll perform on the track. So that is coming up. And let's see, I did mention, I think I mentioned on Wednesday, that the Winsible, the company that makes the Winsible, the 1/64 scale wind tunnel, is also in the process of making some for 1/18 scale cars and 1/24 scale cars. So the 124 scale, I don't have, there's one back there, but the 118 scale is about this size, and for comparison, this is this Bugatti Divo, this is the 118th, and then on top, that's the 164th, that's the Matchbox version of this car. And so the 124 is kind of in between. It's a little smaller than this, a lot bigger than this. And they are making wind tunnels for those size cars. But I just saw a thing last night, a post, and the wind tunnel for the 1/18th scale cars is going to cost just under $700. Which I don't know. I don't know who the market is for that. I hope they're successful because it's a pretty cool project. At least the Hot Wheels version, and the bigger version, I think they said it's like 40 inches long, so it's huge. I mean, it's just like massive, but it's $700. And they explain why it costs that much, and it makes, I mean, doesn't make sense. I'll put it like this: they know what their costs are to build, and it's a very unique and cool project, and there's a lot of engineering that goes into it, and this and that. And I suppose if it's more successful and they are able to sell more and create more, they can bring the price down as they, do that. But I mean, it's just like it's a lot of money, and even the Hot Wheels. I mean, the Hot Wheels version. Again, I supported the Kickstarter campaign when they were just trying to develop it, and so I paid under somewhere between 150 and 200. So let's say 175 maybe. But I think now it's selling for 200 or so, and it's a little tough. I don't know if that's real or not, but yes, this is live. This is absolutely live at 11:23 a.m. Saturday, March 22nd. So I supported the Kickstarter campaign, and even now I'm wondering. I don't know who this wind tunnel is designed for, because, like I said, it's perfect for me because I'm teaching students about aerodynamics, and this is with using Hot Wheels. This couldn't be more perfect. Like, I am the perfect audience, and I bought one. But beyond that, people who would be willing to spend $200 on something to use with Hot Wheels cars seem to be the kind of people who are serious collectors who don't tend to open their Hot Wheels. So I don't know who the audience is. I hope they have an audience. I hope they find that audience. I hope it's massive, because the more that they produce, then the cost will come down. So I don't have a spare $700 for the 1/18th scale version, but hopefully you do. If you do, hopefully you put up a video so I can check it out. But every Wednesday, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, we'll put the cars in to the wind tunnel, check it out before we hit the track, and if they are fast enough, they might be able to take out our fastest in fleet car, which is the Gazella R. So that's the goal. But if the Gazella can win today, it will take on the BlitzSpeeder again. And now what we're going to do is take a look at some of the cars that we are going to introduce today, and we're going to start off with, I mentioned the ID cars, and I found some in storage, and we're going to start off with this Batmobile ID car, and it was, Batmobiles, I think we counted, in Batmobiles and Lamborghinis are the two cars that we have the most of. We may have 13 different Batmobiles, and this is going to be the next one in the line. And as I mentioned, I like these ID cars. I never bought any of the AtTheTrack pieces because it was just too expensive and too limited in terms of what you could do with it. But what I loved was the fact that they made these premium cars, but they had the plastic wheels. So let's take a closer look at this Batmobile, which is, it's by far, it's the best looking Batmobile in the fleet, like without question, because it is the most highly detailed. And the best part is, again, that it has plastic wheels, so we can put it on the track. It weighs in at 32.5 grams, and we are going to drop it in here and take a closer look. Fake on Hot Wheels competition. Yeah, just send me a message. Let me know, and afterwards I'll have to check out those races, because I'm always interested in other Hot Wheels competitions and races. The difference typically is that most races are done on gravity tracks. Ours is a flat drag track, and so the cars that do well on the gravity tracks don't necessarily tend to be the cars that do well on our track, because there's different things that come into play. But I'm always looking around YouTube and online just to find other Hot Wheels races, and finding the cars that are fastest in those competitions, and I pull those in. And in some cases, like last year, there was a Ferrari, I forget what it was, some special edition Ferrari, and I found it on eBay and bought, and I paid like way too much, but it was, everybody on this YouTube channel was convinced this was the fastest car, and I'd watched the videos and it was the most dominant. It got on our track, it didn't even make it out of the first round. It just got blown away, because again, the things that make a car fast on a gravity track don't always translate to our track. But I'm always looking. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out. So yeah, just let me know. As for this Batmobile, this thing, as you've been looking at it spinning around, I might as well set this up to grab my video. And while I'm doing that, you can just tell like that it's black, but it's got like a texture to it. It's got those translucent yellow parts that when the light hits it from beneath, kind of has that glow to it. The wheels, even though they're the plastic wheels, they put some labeling on the edges, which is not something that you see on most non-real rider Hot Wheel tires. So this is car number, this is going to be 828. Yeah, the heavy cars just get beaten out on our drag strip because gravity gets to them. And even if they are aerodynamic, even if their aerodynamic profile is good, the gravity, by the time they get to the back end of our track, gravity is just slowing them down and they're heavier, and that just doesn't help them out on our track. Whereas on a gravity track, that weight, as they begin to pick up speed on that downhill slope, that actually helps because they're gaining speed because of that weight. On our track, they're losing speed because of that weight. And it's definitely an interesting thing to consider and to take into account. But let me stop that. Yeah, this is just a good looking car, and I'm surprised that it's only 32 grams with all the metal that they used. There's and this is more so, let's see, yeah, so it's metal on a plastic base, and then you can see where they had the that ID chip on the bottom, and that was the part that interacted with the different AtTheTrack components. And let's see, what's the manufacturing year? 2018. And let's go ahead and get our still picture. Look at this, is just a nice, good looking car. I mean, just all the details. Even the Batman logo is not, it's not just slapped on there. It's got some texture to it. If you look at the finish of the car, you can see it's not just, it's like, it's different. It's almost, I don't know. It's got kind of a weathered look. It's not just regular. It's not just metal flake paint. It's it like looks like it's been in some some battles. Like Batman's been driving it through the streets of Gotham, chasing down whomever. But I like this car a lot. I like the size, and let's see. Since I have the launcher here, this car, it does fit into the launcher. And as a matter of fact, let me take this still picture right here. And always have to get a video and then a still picture, because there is an online version of all about aerodynamics, and the students have to get a good idea. But with the Batmobile is a classic. Although we have so many different versions and variations of the Batmobile that I think I mentioned, we had on May the 4th last year, we had the May the 4th Be With You races, and we had all Star Wars related, Star Wars themed Hot Wheels cars racing. And I think we're definitely going to have to do a Batmobile challenge, because there are, I'll tell you exactly how many there are. There are a lot of Batmobiles. We have Batmobiles. There's the Batman and Robin Batmobile, the Batman Live Batmobile, Batman Rebirth Batmobile, one that's just labeled Batmobile, Batman and Robin Batmobile, Batman the Animated Series Batmobile, 1989 Batmobile, Batman Forever Batmobile, a gold Batmobile, a hard-nosed Batmobile, and this one, the ID Batmobile. We also have the Superman vs. Batman Batmobile, the Batman Batmobile, the Brave and the Bold Batman Batmobile, and the 1966 classic TV series Batmobile, which was my favorite until this one. They just made enough. Man, I'm telling you, we also have that Batmobile from the from that last Batmobile movie, the one that's more like a muscle car. So I think a Batmobile tournament is definitely in order. And just to point out, because I've talked about worrying about whether or not a car will fit in the launch channel. And so to give you an idea, this is, now all the parts aren't, there's some other parts like the sliders and the launching blocks. But this is the base of the launcher. And you can see there's these channels right here. So the cars slip into this channel. And then they are on the regular version, when it has all the parts, there's a launching block right here that pushes the car out. So it's important that I hang on to the cars, but it's important that a car is not too wide to fit in that channel. And as a matter of fact, I have one here, the Celeron GT, which I really wanted to see on the track, and I really thought this could compete because it had all of the right aerodynamics. But this car, as you'll see, so it's here, and if I try to put it in the launch channel, it's good, but then it gets stuck. It's too wide. And the reason why it's too wide is because it has these little points. Let me switch over to this camera. It has just that little piece right there is just enough. It's sticking off just enough to prevent it from being inside. And you can see it there above the wheel. That little piece that sticks up, that's the problem, and why the Celeron GT cannot fit into the launcher. So I can't even really shave that part down because it's metal. I mean, I suppose I could, but I'm not really into modifying the cars all that much. But I might have to try and do it, because this car, otherwise, it should do like it has everything that we're looking for. It's got the wing at the back. It's got the nice kind of low, smooth profile. I want to see it on the track. So, and then it's going to be hard to file this down without damaging the tire. I'm not that good, I'll give it a shot, because these are in the stores all the time. So just ruining one won't really be all that much. I'll let you know. So anyway, that's why certain cars can't make it in. So if I'd say such and such car didn't fit in the launch channel, then that's basically here's another one. The what is it? MST Suzuka. This is one that we had two of them. We were going to have a showdown to see, but this car also doesn't fit in, and it doesn't fit in because it's got these plastic like sideboard that are wrapping around the bottom of the car, and you can see how they stick out just right there. And I tried to use a Dremel and just cut those off, but I forgot to protect the tire, and I cut into the tire on the other one. So this one I haven't figured out yet how it's going to be best to break these off. When I do, this car will be on the track. So just a little sort of behind the scenes about why some cars get entered into the fleet and some don't. Next up, so we've got that Batmobile. I mentioned the Bone Shaker earlier, and the Bone Shaker is just one of those OG Hot Wheels cars that has been around seemingly forever, and they just make different versions of it. Well, another car that's been around a long time is the Twin Mill. And if you go to any of these Hot Wheels Live Tour events, Hot Wheels Legends Tour events, they have Hot Wheels cars that they've made into actual cars, and one of them is the Twin Mill. And you'll know it when you see it, and it has two engines on either side, and it's kind of low, and the driver's compartment is in the back of the car. Well, I was checking, because just like the Bone Shaker, they're always making Twin Mills, they're always making Roger Dodgers, but I looked in the fleet and the list and the spreadsheet, and we've got a Twin Mill 2, we've got a Twin Mill Gen E, which is one that I bought about around Christmas time. Really thought that car was going to be fast on the track. It was fast enough, just wasn't faster than the Gazella. But then I realized I don't have an original Twin Mill. And so I was looking through the storage and came across two. I came across this Twin Mill, just a regular, just purple and orange variant. And then there was this Twin Mill. This one was pretty cool. This is the Braille edition, the Hot Wheels Braille Racer Twin Mill, and it's actually got the Braille on here, and apparently this reads Twin Mill. So this is actually pretty cool. And on the car, on the bottom, there is Braille as well, the little bumps for the where if you know Braille, all along the car, it's on there. And so that's actually pretty cool. And what it says on the back, our most popular vehicle is back, and this time with Braille. Twin mill 68 and Hot Wheels are proudly displayed on this iconic speedster for an inclusive play experience. So we've got these two twin mills here, and yes, one is different because it has Braille, but essentially it's the same car. And when we have the same car, all we can do is have a head-to-head matchup to see which one actually gets to stay in the fleet. So we're going to have the twin mill, the Braille twin mill against the regular twin mill, and we are going to see which one gets to stay. Although I'm thinking that because this one it is slightly different with the Braille on it. It does have these little ridges all over. Maybe that's enough to make it different, and so they both get to stay. Maybe, but we still need to see which one is faster. So I'm going to crack these open. Start off with the regular twin mill, because I think if you've got a Hot Wheels collection, you've got to have a twin mill, a Roger Dodger, and a bone shaker. That's just basics, even if those aren't your favorites. Weighs in at 30.5 grams, and let me check to make sure it fits in the channel. Yes, it does. Okay, it will fit in the launcher at 30.5 grams. Let's take a look at this car right here, the twin mill. And let's go ahead and see what we've got. The twin mill. There we go. All right. Yeah, I mean, pretty just basic, like you've seen it before. You've seen, if you're into Hot Wheels, you've seen it. The super twin mill. I think, is that, let me take a look. SU. Oh yeah, we have a super twin mill that we raced, 771. So we've got a super twin mill, we've got a twin mill 2, and we've got the twin mill Gen E, but there was no regular twin mill. So we've got this here. This is going, I have a feeling, you know what? I think these are both going into the fleet just because they are slightly different. And different enough. So let me go ahead and get the still picture, the twin mill, and then I'll shoot this little video, and we will have we will complete that, the sort of Hot Wheels mandatory, we'll have our mandatory Hot Wheels set complete with the bone shaker, the Roger Dodger, and the twin mill. Are there any other cars that are just basic, those basic Hot Wheels cars? Yeah, the orange always gets me. Are there any other Hot Wheels cars that are in that category, that are just sort of the basic, the ones that you always see over and over in some other variation? They never really go away. Again, like the Roger Dodger, I've got so many of those. My favorite is probably, well, two favorite. The one is the one that I have from back in the 80s. It's in the fleet. It's a gold. It's got a metallic gold thing with a purple stripe down the middle. And after that, they made a Magic 8-ball version. And I like that one a lot. 829. We are going with the twin mill. And now, let's see. So we're going to have that twin mill. And that weighed in at 30.5 grams. So let's see how much this the Hot Wheels Braille Racer twin mill, what that weighs in at. Okay, so the Braille twin mill is 35.5 grams. So it's actually, it is heavier than the other twin mill. Let's see what the, oh, these are, yeah, these are different. So let's put this up here and take a look at this one. This one, you can see with the, all the little ridges are actually legitimately Braille. And if you know Braille, then you can decipher what it's saying. But this car, one thing I've noticed is that it doesn't have, the other twin mill has pipes coming off the sides right here, and this one doesn't. But this one is heavier, significantly heavier by about five grams. So I wasn't really expecting that. So yeah, so they'll both get to stay. They're going to race each other, but they'll both get to stay only because they are there are significant differences. So that's cool. The Braille ILLE, the Braille Racer twin mill, and there's not much difference in the two cars. Now this one's heavier. I don't know how I would, what would make, I guess the weight is the biggest sort of difference between the two cars. So in that case, I'm going with the should I go with the lighter car or the heavier car? Because the lighter car is getting into that area of too light. And yeah, I'm going with the heavier car. I'm going with the heavier one. Yeah, exactly. There are, as Roughshod pointed out, the blowers on the, let's see. Let me pull this one up. When we take a look at this, you can see right there the difference. And other than that weight, let me go ahead and grab the still picture. I don't know. This is going to be interesting because they're very similar. I mean, obviously they're very similar, but the weight. So we have one that's I surprised that it's that the weight is that different. Let me get some backlight. And now we've got our Braille edition twin mill. And let me just double check that first twin mill to see what it weighs. Yeah, 30.5. So the white Braille version is 5 grams heavier. And we'll see what difference that makes. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think once we see the results, then we can come back and take a look at both of those cars and see which see what we observed. So now we have the ID Batmobile, and we've got 2 twin mills. We're going to take a look at Roughshod's Scoopa di Fuego. But let's see. I found, I'm not trying to go easy on the Gazella, even though I really do want it to win today so that we can have that matchup that we've been waiting for. But it's gonna have to prove it on the track, and I am not gonna let it just slide on in to the winners bracket. So we are going to see well, let me double check and make sure I don't have one of these. This next car is the... No, don't have... Okay, it's from the Neon Speeders series, and it is the GT Hunter. And I'm going to crack this open, and we will see. Hopefully that wing is not too wide, that it will prevent it from going into the launch channel. But since we have a spare launcher here, we will find out. And let's take a look. All right, first things first. Let's see, will it? Yes, it fits into the launch channel. Perfect. Let's grab that weight. The GT Hunter. This is a really good looking car. Comes in at 31.8 grams. And let's get it up here. And take a look. This is a really nice car. Switch the view right over here. And we have the GT Hunter. I am going to throw a different background behind it so I can get catch some of the details a little better. All right, the GT Hunter. Let me get this still picture. And there's that car. And let's get the video. And we will see if the GT Hunter can somehow beat out the Gazella. Now it's got a lot going on. A fantasy car. They seem to throw everything at it with the crazy splitter, the giant wing. There's a lot of extra things that are sticking up that you don't see on the Gazella. The Gazella's sort of most noticeable feature is everything that's not there. It doesn't have a lot of extra gimmicks all over the car. It's just a pretty smooth and sleek car that just blasts down our track. But this is a good looking car. I like the way this car looks. I don't know if all of this extra some of these with the fantasy cars, I don't even know what you call it, but if you look right behind on the hood, just in front of the windshield, it's got these things, these green things just coming up out of the hood, sticking up like fins. Okay, I don't know that that's going to help it in any regard, but hey, it's there. So what you gonna do? So let's see. This is the GT Hunter, and this is car number 831, and we will see if this car has what it takes to take out the Gazella. Let's see, on that other twin mill, 2018 was the manufacturing year. And let me see what this one's got. Yeah, this is a good looking car. From the wheels to just, it's good. I don't know how it's going to be on the track, but we'll see. 2014, the manufacturing year there. And we are moving closer. We're moving closer to hitting the track. And remember, if you want to select a car, if you just passed by this channel and you want to participate, you want to pick a Hot Wheels car to race, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, select the choose a car option, and you will be taken to this page. And on this page, you will see all 820 some odd cars that are currently listed. You can scroll through, you can take a look at those cars. You can decide, you know what? I see a car that's faster, that I think is faster than both those twin mills, the Batmobile, and that GT Hunter. And that car is the, and then you fill in the blank with whichever car you think can beat the cars that you've seen. And if you think, for some reason, that car is, let's say you think it's the Seared Tuner, then you can click on that. You can take a look at it. You can tell by the wheel type that this is from the 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. And you can say, that's the car. If you think that's the car, all you have to do is take the number, in this case 329, drop that in the chat. I will pull the car, and we will take it to the track and test your theory and see if you know what you're talking about. And maybe you do know what you're talking about, but the car is just not fast enough. We have this Aston Martin DB10, and it looks like somehow this slipped into the fleet. Those definitely look like real riders. And that should not be, I shouldn't have let that slide, but early on I was just putting in all of the cars. But yeah, that don't, I'll just tell you now, don't pick this Aston Martin. There's other Aston Martins in the fleet. Don't pick this one, because the real riders, those rubber tires, will in fact, they'll stick to the track, and that's going to be it. You're not going anywhere. We've got a 69 Dodge Charger 500, if that's what you're looking for. I guess I could have dusted the car off a little bit. That black shows every little piece of dust, but nevertheless, if you pick this car, it'll fly down the track, and the dust will get blown off just based on the speed that this car will hit. Now, whether it's going to be fast enough to beat one of the cars that we have up today, I don't know. But whatever car you think, whatever car you want to pick, we've got this 381, this Silhouette, that's got a this Mr. Freeze edition. It's got a kind of Corvette, twin milli type look, something. But if that's the car you want to pick, boom. Just 381 is the number. You drop it into the chat, and there we go. There are, oh, here we go. My favorite car, this Torino Stalker. This is my favorite one from when I was a kid. The one that's in the fleet, this one, is not the one, because I have the one that I had, that I had when I was a kid. I still have it here, but it's got gold Hot Ones wheels, and those are the ones that have the nickel plated axle, so it actually moves faster. And I'm surprised, I know it's in here somewhere, so it may be one that that you can choose from, but this is the version that has the just standard Hot Wheels wheels from back in the 70s, 80s. So this car, I loved this car as a kid, still love it, and if you want to pick it, it's car number 394. So there's a range. Here's, if you want to go with the old school Batmobile, then there you go. We've got one of those, and when we get around to having our Batmobile challenge, this car will be in the mix. So there you go. There are a ton of cars to choose from. 824 are listed here currently. And, oh, there's the Roger Dodger I was talking about. This is the one. This is the one I had when I was a kid. I got fortunate because I had two of these. So this one is in great condition. The other one, not so much. The other one is the one that I played with, and it's just, the paint is scraped off and beat up. The wheels are scratched up because we were playing with them on the playground and on the cement and whatever. But this is the other one, the Roger Dodger. This is the one that I definitely, my favorite of the bunch. Right behind that is the Magic 8-Ball version. But Roger Dodgers are, they keep making them. And if they come out with a color combination I like, then I'll keep buying them. So there you go. So any car you want to pick, if you want this Lamborghini Veneno, then there it is for you to choose. If you want that duck and roll, Okay. But all you have to do is take the number, drop it in the chat. I will pull the car, and then we will race it. So we have 2, 3, 4 cars plus roughshods, which is 5. We usually go 6. I'm gonna see. Let's see what other cars I have here. We have. We can go with. We're gonna have a showdown for this final spot, and I have 2 of these Nissan Maxima Drift Cars, and I bought the first one. I think I bought the blue one first, and then I saw this off-white one, this cream one, and I liked them both, and I hadn't opened either one. Only one can be in the fleet. We're not doing the duplicate thing unless there's some significant difference, and with these 2, there is no significant difference. These are exactly the same car. They are just have different paint jobs and decal sets. So only one can be entered in, but they are both going to be cracked open. We're going to take a look at them, and one of these 2 cars will fill that final spot. So I'm going to crack these open, and we'll take a look. So we've got this blue one, and it weighs in at 35.3 grams. So it's another car that I was thinking would be heavier than it actually is, and which is kind of a surprise. So let's take a look at this car right here. We've got the Nissan Maxima Drift Car. As it comes around, I'll get this video. It's got that transparent hood. You can see the engine there. The nice, I like that paint job. It's got the Japanese characters on the bottom, and the interior with that chrome silver interior. The tinted windows, I like that as well. So I guess I can enter this information in because only one, these cars are exactly the same. Nissan Maxima Drift Car. And the only thing I've noticed that's kind of unique, so it's got the little spoiler coming off the roof, flat back end, which will press up nicely against the launching block. It does have that big splitter, that big low splitter in the front, and that there is quite a bit of surface area right there in the front, and I'm not sure that is going to help this car out all that much, but we're going to find that out. And let me get the still picture here of this one. Put in a little bit of backlight. Zoom in. About there. Looking good. Just a bit. Alright. Still light. Right there, and we have the first. Actually, I guess there's no point in me taking a picture and video of both of these cars until we know which one is going to represent. So this next one we'll just look at, and then if it turns out to be the one that wins, then it will be then I'll have to come back and take the pictures. Now this one is interesting because this one weighs, let's try again. This one weighs 36.2 grams. So the blue one is 35.1. This one is 36.2. So that's kind of interesting. And you can take a look at it anyway. And it's exactly the same. They've got more details on this one. They've got the Nissan name right there on the splitter. And then it comes around. It's got other logos. It's just a nice, clean looking design on this. And so whichever one comes out ahead, I'll be more than happy to have it in the fleet. But I think it is interesting. I'm not sure why this one actually weighs about a gram more than the other one, and I'm not clear as to why, but that is what it is. So these two will go head to head, and only one of these cars will be making it into the fleet. The other one will end up as a prize car. I don't know which one. I like them both, and if they both could stay, then I'd be happy to have them. But that's not the way it works around here. So these two cars are going to go head to head. We're going to find out which one gets to stay and which one has to go. Will it stay or will it go? I don't know. Next up, we have, rounding out, we have Roughshods pick the Scoopa di Fuego, and this one is going to be in, because like that Batmobile, as I said, we put it in the wind tunnel and checked it out, and it was this area here, this little pit. The hair came up over the top, and then it went here, and then we could see it. It was just swirling around. And then what it did from there, it kind of blew out off the sides here. But it's creating just more drag. And and then these little openings, I thought they might flow all the way through from the angle when we were looking at the picture, but it turns out that there's plastic here, so these are sealed. So when the air goes into this area right here, it's just going to go in there, and there's no way for it to come out. So it's going to be acting almost like a parachute. It's going to be trapping the air, but these are pretty small, so how much are they going to actually impact this car's performance? I don't know. But if it's a close race, every little thing could possibly matter. So that's going to be something that I think this car, when you look at it, it should perform well, and it should be pretty fast. I would not be surprised if it made it to the finals. But how these other design elements impact this car, I don't know. If this roof line, if this hole was filled in and the roof, it just came straight up, if the hood area just came straight up to the windshield and this was all filled in, and if these two things were removed and it was just a smooth line right here, right down to the body, I think this car would be a no-brainer. But it'll be interesting to see how it actually performs on the track. And that is where we are about to go. So, as I explain every week, in case this is your first time watching and all about aerodynamics at the Track Live race, then here's what you are about to see. You're about to see our 3-camera racetrack view. And the cars will start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. The cars will be set up. I will give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I will hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher. They will go from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left. They will show up at the top of the screen in the center. They will go from top to bottom, pass out of the bottom of the center screen, and show up at the top of our finish line camera view, which is all the way on the right. They will come from top to bottom. They will cross the finish line And the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. The losing car will be indicated with a flashing red light. So winning car, solid red light. Losing car, wait, did I say that right? Winning car, solid red light. Losing car, flashing red light. So that is how it's going to go. And the races are best 2 out of 3. So the cars will switch lanes after each race. If a car crashes and leaves the track, then we just take those cars, throw out the results, and restart the race. If a car crashes twice consecutively, then it is disqualified, because the car that crashes twice consecutively in exactly the same way, there's most likely a problem with the combination of the car and the launcher that is not going to be resolved by just re-racing the cars. So, car crashes twice, it's done. And what's important also is that part about the car leaving the track, because a car can crash. We had a car last week. It flew up in the air. It flew up in the air, somehow turned around, ended up back on the track backwards, rolled backwards through the finish line, but by the time it did all that flipping and flopping in the air, it was too late. We've also had cars that have crashed but then landed upside down on the track. They have to leave the track. Yes, they crashed, but they have to leave the track in order for the race to be restarted. So if a car crashes and stays on the track, it's just going to lose. If a car crashes, flies off the track, then it'll get a chance at a restart. So that is what's happening. We've got some good matchups here. We're going to have the Nissan Drift Cars in a shootout to determine who gets to stay. A loser leaves the fleet matchup. And then we're going to have those 2 twin mills that are, one's heavier, one's lighter. Which one will get to, which one will move on? I don't know. But that is what we are about to get into. We've got the Batmobile, we've got the Scoopa di Fuego, all these cars competing to take out the Gazella and stop it from having the championship rematch showdown with the BlitzSpeeder next week. We'll see if that how that all works out. But right now, we are about to head over to the track. So I will see you over there in 30 seconds. Okay, everything is all set up. I just need to double check the audio. Get these cables untied. All right, let's see. 1 2 1 2. Yep, audio's good. We are ready to race, and I think we are going to start off with the loser leave fleet match, which is the 2 Nissan Drift Cars are going to start our race day, and we will see which one gets to stay. And there was a slight difference in weight, not as significant as with the twin mill, but there was a slight difference in the weight. And will that make a difference? I don't know. But the white Nissan Maxima was just a little bit heavier than the blue one. The blue one is going to be in lane 1, and the white one is going to be in lane 2. And we're ready to go with our first matchup of the day. Nissan Drift Car versus Nissan Drift Car. The blue version in lane 1, the white version in lane 2. Only one can stay in the fleet. So let's see what happens in this first race. Three, two, one, race. And the white one, the one that is slightly heavier, took that race. The blue car came out and it kind of wobbled around a little bit at the beginning, something that the white car didn't do. And on our track, you really can't afford, these cars can't afford to have any kind of weird movement or wobbling around or bouncing around at the beginning. The cars that get aligned on the track the fastest are the cars that do the best, because the launcher shoots them out with so much force that there really is a lot happening, even though you can't see it. I have to shoot it in slow motion for you to really get a sense of how much movement there is with these cars. They fly up into the air. They have to get back on the track. And that's the thing about the Gazella. The Gazella, part of its success is that it gets these launches and it is able to get itself straightened out and back on the track very quickly. And then the rest of it is just maintaining its speed and course down the track. So we now have the white Nissan Drift Car in lane 1 and the blue one in lane 2, and only one of these cars is going to get to stay. So it's not just being, the loser of this set is not just going to be eliminated from the tournament today. It's going to be eliminated from the fleet permanently. So here we go. White Nissan Drift Car lane 1, blue in lane 2. Three, two, one, race. And bye-bye blue. You are off to the prize bin section. The white Nissan Drift Car has taken it, and this car looks good, but it will be one of the best looking cars in the prize bin. So we have the white Nissan Drift Car moving on and staying in the fleet regardless of the outcome of the rest of the races today. And next up, we might as well go with these two twin mills. And this is an interesting matchup because of the weight difference. There's a 5-gram weight difference between these two cars. So they're both twin mills, but materially, there's something different because one is heavier. So, and I can't really see, they both look to be metal on plastic, but for whatever reason, the lighter version is the purple and orange version, and then the Braille edition is the one that's 5 grams heavier. So we will see how that all plays out. I'm betting on the heavier version for some reason, because it's heavier, but it's not outside the range of cars that do well on the track, whereas the one that's lighter is right at that borderline of being too light. When you start getting into the 20s, in terms of weight, I don't know. So it's right at the line. It's at 30 grams. So let's see what happens. We've got the white Braille twin mill in lane 1. We've got the purple standard twin mill, the lighter version, in lane 2. Three, two, one, race. And the heavier version took it, although toward the end, it was the purple car was catching up, but it didn't have enough to overtake the Braille version. So the Braille version, despite being 5 grams heavier, took that first race. We will switch lanes and see which car will be moving on along with the Nissan Drift Car. So we're going to go with the purple car in lane 1. We're going to have the white twin mill in lane 2. And here we go. The white twin mill, the Braille edition, is up 1 race to none. Here we go, race 2. Three, two, one, race. Whew. That one was not even kind of close. The original twin mill is going to remain in the fleet, but it is not going to remain in today's tournament. It is out. It was beaten thoroughly, soundly, resoundingly by the white Braille edition twin mill. And we now are moving on to our next matchup. We've got the white Nissan Drift Car that moved on, and we had the white Braille edition twin mill that's also moved on. Now we're going to go, let's go with Roughshod Scoopa di Fuego against this GT Hunter. So we have the GT Hunters from the Neon Speeders series, and it's got a lot of gimmicks all around the car, which is typical of the Hot Wheels fantasy car. Have a lot of extras that may not be something you'd see on regular cars. But then we have the Scoopa di Fuego, which we've seen in the wind tunnel, which we have taken a close look at, but we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it on the track until now. So we've got the GT Hunter in lane 1. We have the Scoopa di Fuego in lane 2, and we're going to find out. This is race 1. How will the Scoopa di Fuego perform? Let's see. Here we go. Race 1. Three, two, one, race. Scoopa di Fuego. The little, I don't know what those little things, the little vents, those little openings above the rear wheel didn't seem to slow it down much. It beat the GT Hunter very easily, and the GT Hunter, I don't know. It's got, sometimes you can overdo it with the with all the little gimmicks and the wings and the spoilers and the this and the that and the fins and the. So the Scoopa di Fuego moved down very easily. We're going to switch lanes and see if it can just make it a clean sweep of 2 races to nothing and move on, or if the GT Hunter is going to be able to force a third and decisive race. And we will see. Hey, Steven, thank you. Glad you're enjoying this. This is Roughshod's pick. The Scoopa di Fuego is now in lane 1, and the GT Hunter is in lane 2. We are going to see, is the Scoopa di Fuego going to move on? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, race. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So the GT Hunter is not just going to take all those disparaging remarks that I made about its giant splitter and its wings and its fins and all of that. The GT Hunter came back and took that race. So maybe it just got a bad launch in the first race. I don't know. But it took that race by a wide margin. So we are going to a third and final race. The cars are going to switch lanes, and we are going to find out if Roughshod Scoopa di Fuego is moving on, or if the GT Hunter is going to come back and take 2 races in a row in order to move on to the next round. So the Scoopa di Fuego lining up in lane 2. We've got the GT Hunter in lane 1. It's 1 race to 1 race. Next, whichever car takes this is going to be the car that moves ahead. And just a reminder, the winning car is indicated with a solid red light, the losing car with a flashing red light. So here we go. Race number 3, GT Hunter, lane 1, Scoopa di Fuego, lane 2. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, that race was close. It was close, and the GT Hunter pulled it out. So the Scoopa di Fuego did all that, did the air turbulence that we saw right in that hole, in that pit in front of the windshield. Did that contribute to the car not maintaining its speed throughout? Was it those little coves trapping air? Did that contribute to it? I don't know. We can't say for sure, but we do know that the GT Hunter is moving on, and the GT Hunter is moving on. It's moving on to face the Batmobile, the ID Hunter Batmobile, or the ID Hunt, AtTheTrack. That's what it was. Hot Wheels ID Batmobile. So the GT Hunter is going to be challenged by the Batmobile. It's about the 14th Batmobile in the fleet or so, and it will be lined up in lane 2. The GT Hunter will be lined up in lane 1. And when I have these cars lined up, the GT Hunter with all the little things on it, I could see that as a Batmobile. Why not? We've seen some odd design Batmobiles. The GT Hunter, if I look at it in terms of a Batmobile, it doesn't look so weird. Doesn't look so weird. It feels right at place. Well, we're going to find out. Can it beat out the Batmobile? We have the Batmobile in lane 2. We have the GT Hunter in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, Batman wasn't playing with the GT Hunter. Batman flew down the track and was already back at the Batcave drinking tea with Alfred before the GT Hunter even thought about crossing the finish line. That was not close at all. Let me check something here with the finish line. Okay. Yeah, that was not close. So we're going to switch lanes because there's always the chance that a car got a bad launch, something happened. You know, it happens, but wow, the GT Hunter is really going to need to step up. But we must remember that the GT Hunter did lose the first race to the Scoopa di Fuego and then came back and won 2 in a row. So we'll see. The Batmobile is in lane 1. It's ready to go. The GT Hunter's in lane 2. It's ready to go. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Whew. That race was much closer, but the Batmobile took it, and the Batmobile will be moving on, representing for the car that is most represented in our fleet, the Hot Wheels. This is the ID version of this, and Roughshot, I think Roughshot's saying it's the 89 Batmobile. Yeah, so Steven, this is the I believe it is the like Roughshot says, the 89 Batmobile, but it's part of that Hot Wheels ID car fleet that they don't make anymore. And so it's pretty cool because it has a it's a premium car, but it's got plastic wheels, so it can race on our track, which is great. So now we're down to 3. We've got the Hot Wheels ID Batmobile. We've got the Twin Mill, the Braille edition, and we've got the Nissan Drift Car. So we're going to take the Nissan Drift Car versus the Batmobile. I want to see this Batmobile in action once again. So the Nissan Drift Car, which beat out the other Nissan Drift Car, and knocked it. That victory, when it beat the Nissan Drift Car, the blue one, it didn't just knock the Nissan Drift Car out of the tournament. It knocked it out of the fleet because I don't want to have duplicates. So there can only be one. So the winner gets to stay, and the loser has to leave. It's a loser leaves the fleet match. So that's what happened. The blue one is out permanently. This white Nissan Drift Car is going to stay. It is in lane 2. The Batmobile is in lane 1. This is race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. I'm Batman, and I've won the race. Batman takes race number 1 from this Nissan Drift Car, and is this Batmobile really? This is probably the fastest Batmobile of the bunch that I recall. Most times the Batmobiles have been okay. Nothing so special, but we are now going to have the Batmobile in lane 2, the Nissan Drift Car in lane 1. We're ready to go. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Batman once again, and Batman has made it to the finals. It is going to be the Batmobile versus the Twin Mill Braille Edition, and we will see which of these cars moves on. Okay, so let's go with, get these set up, and we are going to get these here. All right, we're going to put the Batmobile in lane 1, and the Twin Mill Braille Edition is going to be in lane 2. We are ready to go. This is our finals matchup. The Batmobile, lane 1, against the Braille Edition Twin Mill, lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Batmobile by a mile. I've made this sort of speculation before in the past, and it hasn't really worked out, that a car is gonna challenge the Gazella because it's so dominant. This Batmobile has looked pretty fast. Is it Gazella fast? I don't know, but we may find out if this Twin Mill cannot come back and take 2 races in a row. That's what it's gonna take in order to prevent a Gazella versus Batmobile matchup. So we have the Twin Mill lined up in lane 1. If I can get it to stay put. Twin Mill is in lane 1. And the Batmobile is in lane 2. This Twin Mill is not exactly cooperating. It's rolling just ahead of the launching block, and I don't want that. I want it pressed up right against the launching block, because if the cars are not pressed up against the launching block, then the launching block punches them out, which causes them to jump and do a bunch of different things. If they're pressed up against the launching block, then the launching block pushes them out, and there's a big difference. So got the cars lined up. Twin Mill, the Braille Edition, is in lane 1. The Batmobile is in lane 2. The Batmobile is up 1 race to none, and we will see if the Batmobile is moving on or if we're going to have a third and final race. Here we go. Batmobile lane 2, Twin Mill lane 1. Three, two, one, race. So the Twin Mill lost that, but the Twin Mill lost before the cars even crossed the finish line. The Twin Mill kind of went up on 2 wheels and started sliding as if it was about to leave the track, but it didn't. It stayed on the track. It righted itself, to its credit, but as I mentioned before, it ended up upside down. If a car is going to crash, it's better off crashing and leaving the track completely, because then the race will be restarted. If a car crashes but stays on the track, then it's just lost. So we are now, our matchup is the Hot Wheels ID Batmobile versus the Gazella. And we are going to find out, is it going to take a superhero? Is it going to take a superhero to defeat the Gazella and prevent the champion versus champion rematch that we have spent the last 16 weeks building up to? Can Batman take out the Gazella? If Batman takes out the Gazella R, then I'll be shocked. But anything's possible on the track. We have the Gazella R, our fastest in-fleet car for the last 16 weeks in lane 1. We have the Dark Knight. We have Batmobile right here. Batman in lane 2. Batmobile, lane 2. Gazella R in lane 1. This is for the fastest in-fleet title. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Gazella has no problem as it comes all the way back, slamming into the launching block, which again, I've mentioned this before, Isaac Newton's third law of motion, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when these cars hit the memory foam barrier at the end of the track, the amount of force they hit that with is going to be returned to them, and then there's going to be an opposite reaction. The harder they hit that memory foam barrier, the further back on the track they will come. So, for example, the Batmobile hit the memory foam barrier and rolled about a third of the way back up the track. The Gazella hit the memory foam barrier and rolled all the way back to the beginning and banged into the launching block. It just goes to show you how fast this Gazella R really is. So now Batman is going to have to take 2 races in a row from the Gazella R, which I'm going to be honest and say there's no chance that happens. I guess there's a chance, but it's like 0.00001. So I'm saying there's a chance, but not much of one. So Batman is in lane 1. The Gazella R is in lane 2. If the Gazella R wins this, the Gazella R will be facing the BlitzSpeeder in a championship rematch next week. So this is it. Batman is going to have to step up and take 2 races to prevent that from happening. Can he do it? I don't know. All right, here we go. Race number 2. We've got the Gazella R in lane 2, the Batmobile in lane 1. Let's go. Three, two, one, race. Batman hung in there, but it didn't matter because the Gazella took that race. The Gazella is moving on. We are going to see the showdown, the rematch, the BlitzSpeeder versus the Gazella next week. So now I am going to grab these cars. I'm going to head back into the garage. We're going to take a look ahead to the matchup for next week and take a look at some of the cars that ran through today. Give me about a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are set. We are going to have the Gazella R, which is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. We are going to have it face off against the former fastest car on the planet, the BlitzSpeeder, next week. The BlitzSpeeder was the champion for 17 weeks. And then the Gazella came along. And the Gazella beat it. I believe it was 2 races to 1. And that was it. The BlitzSpeeder was done. The BlitzSpeeder was out. Up until that point, we were talking about the BlitzSpeeder the same way that that we talk about the Gazella now. Fastest car on the planet. Can any car stop it? How are we going to find any car that can even give it a close race? And I was on vacation. I was at Five Below, saw a 2-pack of cars, saw the Gazella was one of the cars, picked that car up, brought it back, it hit the track, took the BlitzSpeeder out, and has been our champion for the last 16 weeks. So we're talking about 4 months or so. So since like early December, the Gazella has been the car. It beat out the BlitzSpeeder. And we are going to find out next week. I mean, if the Gazella takes out the BlitzSpeeder, all bets are off. I have no idea. This might be... I don't know where we're going to find a car that's going to beat the Gazella, because in the last 4 months, we've had all kinds of cars. We've had the Slide Kick, the Whipped Creamer 2 have challenged it. We've had a couple of cars that have stayed close, but the Gazella just ends up beating them all out. It is the fastest car that we've seen since the BlitzSpeeder. Can the BlitzSpeeder come back and beat out the Gazella? That'll be wild. If the Gazella is beaten out by the BlitzSpeeder and the BlitzSpeeder recaptures the fastest in fleet title, then we may have to go another 17 weeks and then have another matchup. So it's going to be interesting to find out whether or not the BlitzSpeeder can come back and take it, because it's the only. This is the matchup. This is it. This is what I've been hoping that we would get to, and it will be here next Saturday. Gazella versus the BlitzSpeeder, and we are going to find out. We are going to find out if the Gazella really is that car, the fastest car on the planet, or if the BlitzSpeeder is ready to retake its title. And we will still also have, in addition to these 2 monsters on the track, we will still have new cars introduced into the fleet, and we will have cars that that viewers pick. So if you want to pick a car to race, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, select the choose a car option, and you will be taken to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars in our fleet listed. And Roughshod has already called his shot for next week. He is going with the 2 Jets, car number 286. Let's see, 286. All right, he's going all out. He's pushing all his chips to the center of the table. Let's see, 286. 2 Jets, 270, 280s. Oh, okay. Okay, so Roughshod is going. This is a different pick. So first of all, I see what he's saying about the axle, because these open wheel cars are usually lighter cars, and the force that they get shot out of the launcher with, sometimes they fly up into the air. They get weird launches before they settle back onto the track and go. at the beginning part of the track, there are two barriers, two wooden barriers on either side to help keep the track straight. And sometimes these cars come flying out, these lighter cars up in the air, and they clip that barrier. Well, they're coming out with so much force that when they hit that barrier, these open wheel cars, it's the wheel that hits. And if the wheel hits that barrier, the axles get bent. And when the axles get bent, the car's toast. It can't race anymore. And we've had some open wheel car casualties. One of which was the Forky car from Toy Story. It was a dragster that looked like a spork, and it crashed, axle bent, out. There have been a few others, but hopefully that won't be the case with the two Jets, and we will see, because who knows what this car weighs. Hopefully, if it's metal, this looks like metal on top. I'm just looking kind of like the pitting around the cockpit area. If this is metal on metal, then it'll probably have some weight to it, which will definitely help. So if this is an all metal car, this might be a serious solid pick, because it's got that. There's not a lot of frontal area to obstruct the path of the air. It should slice right on through. And if it's got the weight, it should be good to go. So yeah, this could be, if this is metal on metal, then we may have something here. Could this car come through and be what we're talking about after the matchup of the Gazella and the BlitzSpeeder? Because whichever car wins this tournament, so next week what we'll have our regular tournament, and then one of the cars will be the winner. Then what we'll do is have the Gazella versus the BlitzSpeeder matchup, and the car that wins that will take on the car that wins the tournament. So if the two Jets, if this car wins the tournament, then we will have a situation where that car gets to take on the winner of the BlitzSpeeder and the Gazella. And yeah, faster than a speeding bullet. Thing that's funny, I was kind of thinking that when I saw like the shape of this car, it's got that kind of bullet shape, that about a year or so ago, I did a matchup with the BlitzSpeeder, and with the McLaren Speedtail and the Bullet Bill car, which is shaped, it looks kind of like this, except it's shaped like a bullet. It's the character from the Super Mario Brothers game. And because of that bullet shape, I'm thinking, this is the car. This is a car that is going to be aerodynamically perfect to go down the track and do well. And there's a video somewhere on our page with that matchup, the Bullet Bill car versus the McLaren Speedtail. Excuse me, I don't remember exactly how it turned out, but I know that the Bullet Bill car was an open wheel car, and I think it crashed, and I think the axle got bent. So we never really got to find out, if I remember correctly. So, but two Jets, that will be the car. And if there is a car that you want to pick, all you have to do is find the car, find the number of the car, and then drop it into the chat. So if it's this Rockin' Santa sled, where when the car is rolling down, it's got this gimmick where Santa rocks back and forth, then all you have to do is put the number into the chat. I will pull the car next week, and we will race it. If you want to take a look at your car and ahead of time, before you race, before you lock in your pick, then there is Wind Tunnel Wednesday. And on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, we will take the cars, we will put the cars into the 1/64th scale wind tunnel, and we will check out how the air flows over, under, and around those cars. And then kind of start to look and see, what are we looking at? And is there something that we can see in the airflow with the fastest cars that we can apply to some of the other cars. So I think what we'll also do is we're going to take some of the cars like the twin mills. We'll put the BlitzSpeeder in there on Wednesday, and we did the Batmobile, which was fast, by the way. I liked how that Batmobile performed, and I think that when we do have our Batmobile tournament, it will definitely be my pick to take the Batmobile race. But yeah, with the be interested with the Nissan Drift Car. How does that giant splitter? How is that directing the airflow? Is it doing what it would do on a real car, or is it having some other impact on the Hot Wheels car? So if there's a car you want to pick, if you want to see it in the wind tunnel, if you want to get a better idea, you can pick a couple of cars. We'll put them in there and find out what it is that we are seeing. And maybe you can see something. Maybe you've got that eye and you see something that makes you think, no, this isn't the car. Let me choose something else. Or you see something that makes you think this is the car. All you have to do, AtTheTrack.live, and go to the choose a car option, and boom, you're there. As for Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, that is every Wednesday. It's on Instagram Live. It is on YouTube and on Twitch. And I'm going to try and work out on some other platform. I can't do it on TikTok because I don't have enough followers there to have the live option activated. So be it. But Instagram Live, YouTube, and Twitch, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific is Wind Tunnel Wednesday. And then next Saturday, we will be here at 11 a.m. Pacific for the huge rematch. The Gazella versus the BlitzSpeeder, to find out who our grand champion is. And we will be doing that. But also, if you would like more information about all about aerodynamics, our science program, you can go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, and read all about it in more detail. Or you can go follow us on our Instagram account, AA Aerodynamics, and all the information is in the bio. You can send me a message, and I will respond to you and let you know how we can bring our science program to your school or your organization or your special event. There is also an online version in case you have students who want to participate that way. So there's a range of options and choices for every situation. And I'm looking forward to that matchup. And yeah, this is definitely something that I can't wait for next Saturday. But we had some good races today, and I think we found a good car. That Batmobile, really like. I'm gonna have to go check and see if I have any other Hot Wheels ID cars. I know I have this one, this Jurassic Park Jeep, but there's no way. We looked at this on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and the air hit this huge windshield here because there's a plastic windshield, so the air's not going to just flow right through the car. It hit this, and it just basically, you could just see the air just swirling up right there in front of the windshield, and it would slow this car down. I think beyond that, there's a Mach Speeder, which we already have a Mach Speeder in the fleet, so do we really need the ID version? But if the weight is significantly different, then it might go in. So anyway, I'm going to check, see if I have any more ID cars to put into the fleet. And yeah, we are looking forward. We're a week away from the showdown. And if you want to pick a car, go ahead and choose one, and I will pull it. We'll put it on the track, and we will see. We will see if you can become our fastest in fleet champion. Other than that, I am Coach James for All About Aerodynamics, for AtTheTrack.live, and for Wind Tunnel Wednesdays. I will see you at the races.